Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be starting a new 24-hour timer challenge. I have a 24-hour readathon with my patrons this weekend and I am doing it as a 24-hour time challenge instead of doing like from a certain time to a certain time over a 24-hour period. And I'm really excited. I do, however, have the most ridiculous stack. There is no way I'm getting through all of this, but I wanted to have options. And here they are. So, there is a theme to this, and it is 2023 releases, some of my most anticipated, and some that have then come on my radar a little bit later and I am very excited for and wouldn't mind getting to by the end of the year, quite frankly. So, there is a, like I say, very large stack here. I don't anticipate, it's physically impossible for me to get through all of these. Even if I read every single hour this weekend, I don't think I would get through them all. And I'm only going to be reading for 24 hours. So, yeah, but I'm going to start off, I'm not going to tell you what any of these are about until I'm picking them up because obviously I don't know exactly what I am picking up, but I just wanted to give you an overview of some of the books that have been on my radar in 2023 and that I have been the most excited about. So I don't have any graphic novels on here or manga, so I may come back and pick something up at some point, but I'm going to first off go through a stack of books that I have already started and I would like to prioritize those, I think. So I do have The Ashes and the Starkest King by Carissa Broadbent, which is the second in the Crowns and Iaxia series, and I got to page 124 in this physically until, because the audiobook ended up not coming out until later on this year and I wanted to wait for the audio because I'd audioed Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I think has now had a re-release because the book ended up being picked up by a publisher. So this is the indie paperback. I do have the indie hardbacks of both of the books as well, and I'm now very aware of the fact that they've come out in hardback with the publisher. So I do have this one. Then I also have The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian D. Castell, which I think might be my first pickup for this reading vlog. I am on page 80. I actually think I'm going to restart this because I don't 100% remember what has happened so far in this. So I do think that I'm going to start off with The Malevolent Seven this evening. It's Friday, by the way, so this reading vlog is going to happen this weekend, but I would like to kickstart it this evening. I'm not feeling particularly well. I've had a really shit day, shit being the main word, and it is currently, phone's upside down, 5 minutes past 8 in the evening. So I'm going to get myself in my UD and I'm going to curl up in bed and I'm going to read for a couple of hours before I try and get an early night. I did have a nap earlier on at about 4 o'clock for about an hour and a half. But I am still incredibly tired, so I would like to try and get an early night and not push my luck this evening, potentially wake up feeling much better in the morning at a reasonable time. So I'm going to do that. So anyway, next we have Happy Place by Emily Henry, which I only started a week or two ago and I got to page 102, so I would like to continue on with this one as well and finish this one out. It's again very high up on my priority list. We also have Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I take my dust jackets off my books, okay? These clearly I have been reading recently. Iron Flame not so much, but Happy Place definitely. And I am at page 144 of this one and I really would like to get back to it. The reason why I slowed down with this was that I am annotating and tabbing it. And it always slows me down because it means I have to physically read along with the audiobook, whereas normally what I would be doing is audiobooking and doing other shit, making thumbnails, sorting out shop stuff, playing games, things like that, doing the washing up, doing the house chores. So unfortunately with this, mistakes were made. I don't regret picking the book up. I regret starting to tab it up. I just couldn't help myself with the first page. Whether or not I continue to do that this weekend, I'm not sure, but otherwise I will just stick the audiobook on and put her around like I would like to. So I would like to finish Iron Flame this weekend, but I feel like I can't decide whether I want to, I don't want to necessarily say quality over quantity, but I think I should probably prioritise books I'm partway through over quantity. I think that's what I probably should be doing, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. I don't know what mood I'm in, so this is why I have such a vast selection to pick from. So next we do have one that I had no idea was coming out, but now that I know about it and I have it, I am incredibly hyped about it, and it did come out at some point this year. Spotted it the other day in Waterstones when I took Thomas, and it is Tales from the Forest of Winnie the Pooh by Jane Riordan, with illustrations by Mark Burgess. Winnie the Pooh, if you did not know, I don't know how, Winnie the Pooh is my favourite Disney character of all time. And is he Disney? I don't even know if he's Disney. Either way, he's my favourite animated character of all time. I fucking love Winnie the Pooh. And I adore these books. I have them all in this collection. And I adore them. The maps are so beautiful underneath the dust jacket. Very, very pretty. So I would like to get to this one. It's not too long. It's a middle grade, so it'd be really nice to break things up a little bit. And it's got full colour illustrations as well. So I'm really excited about that one. So I really would like to get to that one as well. Another middle grade I do have is The Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. Again, I was aware it was coming out. I just forgot. You ever do that? You know something's coming out and then you spot it in the shop and you forgot. You knew it was coming out, but you forgot. And then you're like, oh shit, it came out. This was that. So this is The Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. Sophie Anderson has done some of my favourite middle grade books, and I love her writing style, and this time of year is perfect for this. If I do not get to this now, I will likely save it for Polathon because it will work for that, but I wanted to put it on here anyway. It was 2023 release and I am very excited for it. Then we have The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren, which is, I don't think it's necessarily an actual series, but they are companion novels, I think. The Soulmate Equation was the first one and I did enjoy it. So this is the Illumicrate Afterlight edition. So I've popped this on here for another romance because why the heck not? I only have Happy Place on this list. And then we do have a stack of 4 thrillers as well. We all know I love to smash a thriller out in a day, and I will be getting to at least one of these for sure. And that one will definitely, the one I'm going to be prioritising over the rest, will be All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham, because I put it on my end of year TBR. Similarly, The Malevolent Seven and Happy Place and Iron Flame are also on my end of year TBR. So we're doing all right there if I can get through all of those. So yeah, this one is a thriller and I would like to get to this. And then the other 3 thrillers I have on here is Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister, which is the author of Wrong Place, Wrong Time, one of my favourite thrillers that I've read this year. So again, I am incredibly hyped to read this to see whether or not she will properly become a favourite author, or whether it was a fluke. Similarly, Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. I read Daisy Darker, very close actually to Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and absolutely loved it. Another one of my favourite thrillers of the year, so very excited for Good Bad Girl by Alice Feeney. And then we also have 0 Days by Ruth Ware. I haven't read everything by Ruth Ware in the past, but I have read enough from her to know that I do enjoy her writing, so I am very excited about this as well. Have heard mixed things, but I'm excited regardless. Are we focused? No. So those are like my low priority, I would say, but I've put them on here in case, you know, I just don't know what mood I'm going to wake up in tomorrow. I could be deathly ill. Maybe I want to sit in bed all day and just read thrillers. Who knows? Who knows? So I think my priority list will look something like this, with Malevolent Seven and Happy Place going first. Then just sticking Winnie the Pooh in there because I really want to get to Winnie the Pooh and it'd be nice to have something short in there. Then Iron Flame, I really would like to prioritise that, but whether or not I actually do is another matter. And Ashes of the Star Cursed King, again, I would really like to get through that. I think if I only got through like those 5, I would be really, really proud of myself, but I do really want to get to All the Dangerous Things as well. And then anything else after that will just be a bonus at this point. There are a couple of other books on my end of year TBR, like Powerless. I can't remember if there's anything else, but Powerless is definitely on there by Elsie Silver, that again I would like to get to. And I feel like kind of makes sense for the 24-hour readathons because I've been doing them, I've been reading them during them, so I could end up throwing that on here as well, but I haven't done so yet because I wanted to prioritise some other books. So yeah, we will see what happens, but I'm going to start off with The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian de Castell. I am shit at explaining what this book is about. This is also actually on my December TBR for a book I really want to read back from Kathleen. So this one says, 7 powerful mages want to make the world a better place. We're going to kill them first. This synopsis is really fun, but it basically goes through what a wizard, in your head, what a wizard looks like with a floppy hat and a beard and all of that stuff. Imagine Gandalf. And then goes through the process of explaining what actual wizards look like in this world. So we then get to a point where it says, my name is Cade Ombra and I currently make a living as a mercenary wanderist. I used to have far more noble sounding job title until I discovered the people I work for weren't quite as noble as I believed. Now I'm on the run and my only friend, a homicidal thunder mage, has invited me to join him on a suicide mission against the 7 deadliest wizards on the continent. Time to recruit some very nasty people to help us on the job. Really excited to get back into this one, and I am excited to actually restart it. So I am going to take this bookmark out. This was one of Jade's Patreon bookmarks. So I'm going to take it out because I am going to restart this one. Joe Jameson, my favourite narrator of all time. It used to be Steve West. Sorry, Steve. But Joe is the king. Narrates all except for the Argosy series. He narrates all of Seb's books. And I love him. So I'm really excited to just spend a couple of hours with Joe Jameson this evening and get kick-started with this. I would really like to get past the point that I was at, which was page 80, I think. That bookmark has been in here that long, has actually left a dent at page 80 in the book. Whoopsie. That's fine. I have 2 other copies of this. I recently just got Crucible of Chaos as well by Sebastian de Castell, and I did debate putting that on here as well, but on the basis that I didn't know about that book until very close to its release, I didn't do that. Also, I probably shouldn't read 2 Sebastian de Castell books back to back, albeit they are very, very different in synopsis, so maybe I could. I'm going to play it by ear. I've given you a rundown of some of the books that I'm interested in reading, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to get in bed and I'm actually going to give this a listen, and I will catch up with you in the morning, let you know how I'm feeling. Hopefully better will be the answer, and I will actually be able to drink a Monster tomorrow as well, because I haven't felt safe doing so today, because if you know, you know, I didn't want that going straight through me to add to my problem. So yeah, let's get on and do this bad boy. And I will check back in with you in the morning. We have sprint starting at 11 o'clock, so I thought, come on, give you a quick update this morning. I didn't read for too long last night, but I did read a bit. I got past the point that I was previously at with The Malevolent Seven, so I think I got to about 94 pages or something. I wanted to try and push on and get to 100 pages, but I was absolutely shattered. It did take me a while to fall asleep last night, but I think I did get a decent night's sleep. And then I woke up about 20 past 7 this morning, but didn't actually get out of bed till about 8 o'clock. I have had a food shop delivered, and I've put chicken noodle soup in the slow cooker. My noodles haven't gone in yet, the rest of it has though. So yeah, as soon as the shop was delivered, I put that straight in because I knew that if I sat down and told myself I'd do it later, I wouldn't end up doing it. So I've ended up doing that, which is great news because it means I've got food for later on. And I love chicken noodle soup. I've never made it before, so I'm very excited about making my own and seeing whether or not it will come out okay. So that's fantastic news. But we are currently at 20 hours 36 minutes left on the timer, so it's at like 3 hours 14 in. I can't believe that's how much I've got left already. I thought I would be way further in than that by now, but I have been listening to my audiobook for Malevolent 7 all morning while I've been pottering around, emptying the shopping, putting the slow cooker on, and then just sitting here kind of playing games on my iPad and getting myself set up for sprints. And I am currently 241 pages into Malevolent 7. I don't know how many pages are in here, but 365 pages. So I've got 124 pages to go, 124 pages to go. Just over 2 hours left on the audiobook. Just under an hour and 47 minutes. So I'm hopefully going to finish this in the first 2 sprints. Does that make sense? First 3 sprints? Oh no, we're doing 55-minute sprints, so the first 2 sprints. And I'm looking forward to it. And then I think what I'm going to do is actually go on to Winnie the Pooh, Tales from the Forest. I just fancy something short and sweet that will make me feel pure happiness. Oh, does he go to London? Adorable. So yeah, I think that's my plan. I'm enjoying the Malevolent 7 so far. It's really good. I did see somebody saying that they were currently... Oh no, that was it. I was having a quick look at the reviews for it when I was adding it to Goodreads. And I saw somebody saying that they struggled with it a little bit because they were currently in the middle of reading the Greatcoat series and it was reading quite similar. And because Joe Jameson does do the narration for all of the books, I get what they're saying. Cade does read a little bit like Falkio. His personality is quite similar to Falkio's, and Joe uses the same voice for him that he uses for Falkio. That might sound ridiculous because Joe has his own voice, but he's very, very good as a narrator at giving each of the characters their own personality. So in the Greatcoat series, we follow Falkio, Kest, and Brasty. He makes Brasty sound like the class clown that he is, and he does it very, very well. Kest is Scottish, which when I told Jade, she was like, I was 100% not expecting that. And Falkio is quite a reasonable man with a dark sense of humour that is constantly getting himself into a little bit of trouble. Cade is very similar in that sense with personality and the way he sounds and comes across. So I could understand how someone who is in the middle of the Greatcoat series is struggling with the comparisons between Cade and Falkio because they are very similar. But overall, I am really enjoying it. They are now kind of on their way to do this mission, and they have this very dysfunctional band of mages, different types of mages. There's a blood mage in there, there is obviously the thunder mage in there who is chaotic as fuck. We have Cade, we have a couple of others as well. But so far it's really good. I'm enjoying it, I'm having a good time. I don't know if this will necessarily be one of my favourites from him. I love the Greatcoat series. It's my favourite series, one of my favourite series of all time, and I truly love it. So I don't think this will become one of my favourite books from him, but I'm still really, really enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I don't know if this is going to be a series or if it's a standalone, but yeah, having a good time with this. I have brought a selection of the books down that I was mentioning to you yesterday that I would like to get through today. So we have Snow Girl, A Happy Place, All the Dangerous Things, The Ashes of the Starkest King, and Iron Flame. So we'll see how many of those I do get through over this weekend. But I've brought them down so that I can keep looking at them and make a decision of what to pick up next while I'm making my way through something else. But yeah, it's been productive so far today. I do have a cracking headache right here. And I think what's happened is because I didn't have a Monster yesterday, which is my form of caffeine because I don't drink coffee or tea, I missed out on my caffeine. This can happen to me if I don't drink a Monster. The following day I will have a cracking headache, all that evening. So I think that's what's happened. I missed out on my caffeine yesterday because I didn't think it was a good idea with the way I was feeling. I thought it would only exacerbate. I thought it would irritate the problem further, so I decided not to have one, which I think was a good decision, but today I'm regretting it a little bit. So I'm gonna see how I'm getting on. I have eaten something, I am making my way through that Monster, I'm drinking lots of water, so I'm gonna see how I'm feeling. I might end up taking some paracetamol or ibuprofen in a little bit once I've had some lunch. But yeah, so that's what I'm up to. I am gonna go so that I can get started with these sprints that are gonna start in 2 minutes, and I will check back in with you a little later on. Hello, some time has passed. It's now 10 to 3 in the afternoon. We are on 17 hours and 33 minutes. I would really like to have less than 10 hours on the clock for tomorrow, because I'd really love to wrap this whole vlog up with watching a Christmas movie or something tomorrow night. Just chilling out and wrapping it up like that. So hopefully that is what I will do. But I have finished 2 books and I'm about to go on to my 3rd, so let's tell you about them. I did finish The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian de Castell. I gave this one 5 stars on Goodreads. It got a very high 4.5 on Corpile. I really enjoyed this one. Haven't enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Traitor's Blade, but I did still enjoy it regardless. I thought it was very good. I really enjoyed the characters and the kind of adventure slash mess they ended up finding themselves in, the deception and all the good things that Sebastian de Castell is really, really good at, especially the wit and the humour that comes through in this as well. There is a talking goat in this story as well, which was interesting to say the least. And I just had a really, really good time with it. It's making me very excited to get on with Crucible of Chaos. I really should pick up Fall of the Argosy as well to wrap up that duology. And also continue on with the Spellslinger series. I think I've definitely read Spellslinger as Shadow Black, but I can't remember if I've read Charmcaster or not. So I still have like 1, 2, 3, 4 of those to read, 3 or 4 of them to read. So I probably should get on with that as well next year. Maybe it will be the year of Sebastian de Castell, who the heck knows. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. And then I have just finished Tales from the Forest by Winnie the Pooh, with Winnie the Pooh, by Jane Riordan, and illustrations by Mark Burgess, because obviously A.A. Milne and E.H. Shepherd are no longer with us. This was so good. I really, really enjoyed it. It's basically just continuing on with Tales of Winnie the Pooh, and they have the rights to do so as well. There has been like an agreement with Winnie the Pooh Foundation or whatever it's called. It does have acknowledgements in the front. The publisher, as always, the publisher is very grateful for the valued input and knowledge from the trustees of the Pooh properties and the trustees of the Shepherd Trust. So yeah, they've had the okay to do so, and it was just really cute, the little adventures that they went on and stuff. There was like a 4-leaf clover one with Winnie the Pooh getting lucky and spreading it to Eeyore. There was Piglet finding a jewel. There was Christopher Robin wanting to build some pyramids because he was learning about Egypt and the pyramids. in school. There was a trip to London to go and see the Egyptian stuff in the museum in London. And it was really, really adorable, and I had a good time. So I haven't ran it through Core Pile yet, but I know it's going to get 5 stars. And I just forgot how good Winnie the Pooh's like little hums and stuff are as well. I just really enjoyed it. It was such a good time. The nostalgia, every single time I pick one of these up, even if I've never read it before, just the nostalgia for Winnie the Pooh makes my heart very, very happy. So I'm really excited that I've read this one. Also that I spotted it in the shop the other day. There was no way I was walking away without it. So very excited for that. So that's 2 books down, and I'm really happy with my progress. And then I was going to go on to Happy Place and try and nail that, and then do like a graphic novel or Snow Girl to try and do 4 books today. However, I thought that it might be more progressive. I thought that I might get more out of it if I actually tried to pick up one of the chunkier books that I've put on here, between Iron Flame and Ashes. So because I have less of Ashes to read and less time on the audio for this one than I do for Iron Flame, I think I'm going to dive back into this. I'm not 100% certain on what has happened in the first 124 pages that I've read of this, so I may go back a chapter just to refresh my memory. So in the first one, Serpent and the Wings of Night, this series follows Araya, who has been trained because she knew she was going to end up entering these games. It's kind of like a tournament thing, and there are different types of people in there. So Rain ends up being in there. There are vampires in this world, and you just have to survive the tournament, but she ends up with help from Rain for whatever reason, and we kind of move on with this one. I don't want to say any more than that because it will spoil what happens at the end, and then moving into this one, so I can't tell you anything about this book because it will spoil it. But yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed Serpent and the Wings of Night, so I'm excited to continue on with The Ashes and the Star-Kissed King now that the audiobook has come out. I did read the first 120 pages of this physically, but it took me so long that I ended up putting the book down, saying that I was going to wait for the audio because it was due out within a couple of weeks. Then it got pushed back because it got picked up by a publisher, so I've had to wait now till towards the end of the year, but I do now have the audiobook. This is the original indie published indie published hardback of The Ashes and the Star-Kissed King. I actually managed to get hold of the hardbacks before they got picked up by the publisher, which is great. So I have the indie paperbacks and hardbacks now. I won't be buying the traditionally published hardbacks or paperbacks. I don't need them because I've got one of each already. So yeah, very excited about these. I'm also, I think, going to try and get the Feralute special editions of these, at which point I may try and get rid of my paperbacks. We will see. But yeah, so I'm going to continue on with this for the rest of the day. I think I may dip out of it and pick something else up, maybe a graphic novel. I completely forgot to tell you, but there are prompts for this readathon as well. I did make some prompts. There's not many, but the first one was a wintry read or something that you, or an anticipated read. A wintry read or an anticipated read was the first prompt. The second prompt was a graphic novel, manga or novella. The third prompt was a 2023 release, and the fourth prompt was to do some self-care. So I'm hoping that like the movie tomorrow evening will be some self-care for me. I've also done myself some chicken noodle soup in the slow cooker, which for me is very much self-care. I always talk myself out of doing any slow cooker food because it's quite a bit of prep to start off with. So I managed to talk myself out of it every single time, but the food shop came and I just did it straight away before I put it in the fridge and stuff. So yeah, this could count as my novella for that prompt, but I wouldn't mind picking up a graphic novel or two during the weekend, and then a 2023 release slash a most anticipated book for this one. So yeah, to be fair, all of the books I'm picking up are 2023 releases, so any of them count for that. But I only did 4 prompts. I probably should have done more, but it is what it is. It is a 24-hour readathon, but not everybody's doing the timer challenge like myself. So obviously my 24 hours lasts longer than everybody else does because they're probably just picking it between a time and a time, whereas I'm doing 24 hours throughout the weekend. So yeah, but I'm intrigued to see how I'm going to get on with this, whether or not I manage to complete it today or whether it will run into tomorrow a little bit, which I anticipate if I do end up stopping and picking up a graphic novel. But we'll see how that goes. So I am going to get on with this and I will check back in with you in a little bit. Okay, hello. It is much later in the day. It is 10 to midnight and hello, have an update for you. Listen, we're just going to ignore that, all right? I need to wash my hair. I'm going to do it in the morning. Everything will be fine. We have 10 hours 57 minutes left on the clock. I am pretty tired, so I am going to crawl into bed. I may take a graphic novel with me. I'm going to go through some with you in a second and just see what I have pulled out that are 2023 releases. I may take one to bed. I may start it. I may finish it. I don't know, but I'm not going to have less than 10 hours, I don't think, on the clock tomorrow. So that's fine. Maybe I just get up a bit earlier and start the day a bit earlier. But I have now finished The Ashes and the Starkest King by Carissa Broadbent. And I'm so proud of myself, honestly, because there was a fleeting thought towards the end of November that I would not get this finished by the end of the year. And I was concerned that if I let it run into 2024 that I would never finish it, and I was worried because I loved Serpent and the Wings of Night. So I'm really glad that I've managed to finish this one, and it does mean that I can go on to Slaying the Vampire Conqueror because I do have the first one in that series as well. But yeah, I did finish this one. It got the same rating as Serpent, maybe just a little bit lower. It got 4.5 again on Corpile, so I've given it 4 stars on Goodreads. And I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. It was nice to be back with those characters and see where we were up to with their situation. There is so little I can say to you about this because it will ruin everything that happens in the first book, because it literally follows on and there are huge reveals at the end of the first book. So there's so little that I can say about this. The one thing that I will say about it is that angst between these two characters is insane. And I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the relationship side of it. I enjoyed the friendship side of it as well, the friendships that we have in here. And just everything else that comes with that. I really enjoyed it. I had a very good time and I'm just really happy that I've managed to be able to finish this one. So that is my 3rd book down for this readathon. I seem to have a track record of doing 3 books a day when I do these, so I would like to keep that going tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to get to Fourth Wing tomorrow because I really want to finish Happy Place. I'm already part way through it. And I would really like to get to All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham because we know I like to do a thriller. But then I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my time tomorrow. So I don't see the point necessarily in continuing on with Iron Flame if I'm not going to finish it in this reading vlog. So I'm not sure what to do with that. I ummed and ahed about whether or not to dip in and out of it, like do 100 pages of Happy Place, 50 pages of Iron Flame, 100 pages of Happy Place, 50 pages of Iron Flame, till I finish Happy Place, then do the same thing with All the Dangerous Things, just to make some progress in it. And then wherever I'm up to when this vlog ends, I will just finish it off then, hopefully before the new year. But it will, if I can get like over halfway doing that, it will give me more oomph to want to finish it before the end of the year. Right now I'm not that far in, so I'm not feeling that push to be like, if I don't finish it in this vlog, I probably won't finish it by the end of the year because I will prioritize other things that I know I can get through. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that tomorrow. I may put that out to my patrons and see what they think. I just can't decide what the best use of my time will be because obviously this is a timed challenge. So if I wasn't doing the time challenge, I would probably do that. But the time that I spend 50 pages on that book and it builds up throughout the day, I could have probably read another book in. Do you know what I mean? So is it better for me to make progress in Iron Flame, or is it better for me to finish another book and just literally force myself to finish Iron Flame before the end of the year? Who the fuck knows? I do still have a huge desire to want to read this during this reading vlog because I have read Heartless and Flawless and Heartless throughout, like during these 24-hour vlogs. So I feel like it's my due diligence. I always struggle with that. Due diligence to do that because them's the rules. I mean, I didn't make them, but I did. So them's the rules, you know? It feels like I should be reading Powerless in this vlog. I didn't realise this was also on my TBR officially as well, so maybe I should be doing that. Remember the last time you were happy and read a book that fits that moment? Be adorable. Maybe I should be doing that, I don't know. So maybe I'll pick that up tomorrow with Happy Place and All the Dangerous Things. I reckon that will get me through the day. If anything, I will run out of time. Potentially that's what I'll do. If I do run out of time and I do make the decision to do that, what I will then do is just finish the book off and update you at the end with my final thoughts of it. I think that's what I'll end up doing, because I can run into Monday a little bit, just not too much. I've got a whole bunch of filming to do on Monday, because then I disappear on Tuesday for a week for Christmas to Andy's, so that I can like be with my family and be with him and stuff. So yeah, I need to sort that out. But the graphic novels that I'm thinking about picking up, I have 4 no, I don't have 5. Apparently I can't count. I have 5 here. So I do have Shako, which was sent to me by Yen Press. Oh no, IZE, who is a subsidiary of Yen Press. Earlier on, not too much earlier on actually, maybe a couple months ago. However, I don't know if this is cheating, because it originally came out in 2022. It's just that the English translation came out in 2023. So, oh hang on, it says English, oh, English translation on Webtoons was 2022, English edition from IZE Press was 2023. So I don't know if that's cheating or not, but I don't know. This is a possibility anyway. Then we do have Constantine Distorted Illusion. Let me just double check this is 2023 before I tell you about it. I'm not going to tell you about it anyway, but unless I pick it up to read. No, 2022. What's the matter with me? Can you tell that I've done my research before I've told you about these books? Where is the date on this? 2020. I'm sure that only came out this year. What is the matter with me? 2020? Am I going mad? This definitely didn't come out till this year, I'm sure. Oh no, maybe it did actually. Maybe it did come out last year. This one definitely came out this year. I am sure of it. Like 99.9% sure. 2023, look at me go. So now I'm down to 2 options. I could pick up the Adventure Zone Volume 5, but they take me a while to get through, and I just would like something that is going to be easy breezy to get through, you know. So my other option is Clementine Book 2 by Tilly Walden, which is from the same world as The Walking Dead. From the world of Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead. And this is another option. So I'm reckoning one of these 2, maybe both. Maybe I do one tonight and one tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, so I've already hit like my 3 book quota today. Nothing stops me from doing 4 today, but either way, it'll probably end up being classed as tomorrow, because it'll be gone midnight by the time, yeah, it's 11:57 now anyway. It'll be gone midnight by the time I get in bed. I can put those back if you were interested what they were. Hollow, 1 Year at Ellesmere, and Constantine Distorted Illusions. But I'm not picking them up because they weren't published in 2023, apparently. It's just that I got them this year. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, so I am gonna go and make myself to bed, make my way to bed, get myself to bed. I clearly need it. Hopefully I'm gonna get up at a reasonable time tomorrow so I can have a shower and then dive straight back into reading, because I've still got almost 11 hours to get through tomorrow, and I would still really like to watch a movie tomorrow night, so we'll see whether or not that happens. But I'm gonna go, so I will check back in with you tomorrow. All right, good morning. It's about 10 o'clock and I'm really freaking late to be getting on with the day. I didn't read any more last night. I went to bed and doom scrolled for 2 hours. Not proud of myself. We've got 10 hours 57 minutes on the clock. We've got a lot of time to be getting on with today, and I really need to get a shufty on. So I have had a chat with my patrons because I was still undecided this morning what to do with today, and I couldn't decide whether it would be better to focus all my energy on Iron Flame and just get it done, because I know that I could get through Happy Place or All the Dangerous Things or Powerless in one day when I get some free time over the break. But one of my patrons said that if she hadn't actually like forced herself to read it in one day, she could have found herself keep putting it down, to be fair. So she said maybe if you're not in the mood, it's best not to focus on Iron Flame for the whole day. So what I'm going to do is I've made a conscious decision to give this 50 pages and see how I'm feeling. I am currently 144 pages in, so I will try and get around the 200 page mark. I think it's more than 50 pages, but I think I'll try and get to like page 202 where there's a chapter, and I'll feel a bit better about being 200 pages in, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, then I'll make a decision and let you know how I'm feeling and what I'm going to do with the rest of the day, whether or not to continue focusing on this one, or whether over the next couple of weeks, hopefully before the end of the year, I'll just try and dip in and out 50 pages a day with this. So that is my decision for today. That is what I'm going to end up doing. But I did just get a little bit of post through the door, which is surprising because it's Sunday and I didn't think the posties worked on a Sunday, so God knows where these have come from. We did get this cute little Christmas card, and it's from a patron of Jade's. It was addressed to Daisy and B. So it's from Dawn. So thank you so much, Dawn, for this. This is absolutely beautiful. Such a beautiful Christmas card as well. Thank you very much. I'm going to send a picture of it to Jade. She's currently on a cruise, so I will send a picture of it to her, but thank you so much. And then I also got a couple more charms for my black Crocs, because I have 2 pairs of Crocs. We've had this conversation before. I have 2 pairs of Crocs. I have my white pair and then I bought a dark pair. I don't know why I need 2 pairs of Crocs, but I have them regardless, and I will be taking a pair with me to Andy's for Christmas, despite the fact that he hates them and he refused to get me the black pair for my birthday, so I had to buy them myself, which is fine. But the black pair, I have like horror and witchy charms on. The white pair, I have Daisy and Bee charms, Winnie the Pooh charms. So I have like a light and dark pair, if you like. And I got a couple more charms for my black Crocs. So I do have this one that says all black everything. Is that focusing? It's so cute. And then I do have this one as well, which does have a crystal ball on it, and I think it's beautiful. So very excited to go and put those on my Crocs. But yeah, so I'm gonna get shufty on because I really need to get shifting today. I really wanted to watch a Christmas film this evening. I haven't, so far, the only Christmas film that I've seen is The Grinch. When I had Thomas the other week while Luca was being born, we watched it twice. The first time we did not finish it. We started watching it, we nipped out to town and we were going to go to soft play and it was shut. And when we got back, I said, right, Thomas, shall we carry on with The Grinch? He went, yeah. So I put it on, and 5 minutes in he went, can we start it again? I was like, fuck's sake. So I watched The Grinch twice, and then he wanted to watch the animated Grinch. So I've watched The Grinch a lot, and I'm supposed to be watching it with my patrons on Thursday night, but I've asked them, can we pull it forward to tomorrow? Because when I arranged it, I didn't realise I would be staying at Andy's Thursday, so I'll be going to his Tuesday and I'll be there until the following Tuesday. So although I can make it work, he will get in from work about 7:20. We start watching the movie around 7 o'clock, and he will want his tea when he gets in, so it's going to cock me up a little bit because either he's going to make tea or I will, but I'll need to stop to have my tea, which doesn't really work when you're trying to watch a movie with people. So I've asked them, can we pull it forward to tomorrow while I'm here and I've got no interruptions. So far it's looking that that's going to be potentially positive. So I would really like to watch, I think, The Holiday or Candy Cane Lane tonight. I haven't seen Candy Cane Lane before, but I usually watch The Holiday every year and I missed it last year, so I would really like to watch it this year. So yeah, that's my plan, but I need to get a shufty on because otherwise I'm not going to have time to watch that movie tonight. So I need to get going. So I'm going to check back in with you when I've done these pages for Iron Flame, let you know whether or not I'm continuing on with Iron Flame or we're going to switch it up and go back to something else. I did bring the graphic novels down that I mentioned to you yesterday, well, the graphic novel and manhwa that I mentioned to you last night, and I've also brought Powerless down as well, just in case. So we'll see how we get on today, but I will come back and check in with you in a little bit. I need to go and get a Monster and get something to eat. I'm starving. Okay. I made it to page 202 of Iron Flame. I still don't know what to do with myself today. We have 9 hours and 49 minutes on the clock. And I have 7 hours and 33 minutes of this book left on audio, and I just don't know if I want to spend the whole day listening to this. I'm enjoying it now that I'm back in it, which is good news, but I just don't know if I want to spend the whole day reading it. So I'm so undecided what to do. I don't know whether to dip in and out of it throughout the day, just trying to make more progress on it so that I have less of it left to try and finish before the end of the year, and read other books in between. I'm so undecided. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, make a decision, and I will come back and let you know what I'm going to do. Alright, it took longer than a 5-minute break. I have Christmas presents I need to wrap and Christmas cards I need to write, so I am going to do that, and I'm actually going to try and finish Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am partway through it. This is a fake dating second chance romance, I think. I don't know if it actually ends in a happily ever after or not, but we're following our 2 main characters who were dating. They were actually engaged and they broke up, and neither of them have told their friends. Now they have the same group of friends, and they go, our female main character, I can't remember the names of the characters, my book's over there. Our female main character has been invited on a trip that she thinks is with the girls. It turns out that her ex-partner is going to be there for reasons, and they have to either tell them there's a reason why they made the decision not to do that, or they just pretend that they're still happily engaged and they will tell them after the trip. So they've made the decision to pretend they're happily engaged. And so far I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time. So I have, how long have I got left? I'm listening to it on Spotify, which is really cool. 8 hours and 8 minutes, and I'm listening to it on 2.5 times speed. That is not the one that I wanted. 8 hours, 8 minutes on 2.5 speed, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm hoping that I'll finish that today. I may dip back into Iron Flame. I just feel like if I try and listen to 7.5 hours of Iron Flame today, I'm going to drive myself insane. So I think I need to break it up a bit, but I think I will try and dip back into Iron Flame, maybe do another 50 or 100 pages later on when I finish Happy Place, and then go into All the Dangerous Things, and any time left over that I might have later, I will then spend that on Iron Flame. So I won't finish Iron Flame in this vlog, but I will have made progress, which is which is pretty important to me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get on with that while I wrap Christmas presents. I've got Andy's to do. I've got him these pair of cargos that he wanted, and I have his shoes. Oh, they're here. Can't put them on the table, but I have him some new shoes. He knows about them because he's picked them. So if he watches this, which I doubt he will, it doesn't matter. But I got him some new Nike Air Force. So I've got him those as well. I will wrap them on the floor. Don't panic. I have selection boxes here for Matt, Tara and Andy. And then I have all of my Christmas cards that I need to write. I haven't got Andy one yet, so I could do with getting him one of those. I also got him, I paid half towards COD, Modern Warfare, for him as well. And then I've got my dad a book that he wanted. I need to get my mum and dad something else, joint present. I've already wrapped my mum's present. I got Andy's brother Jamie some Lego. Jamie is a 30-year-old, no he's not, he's a 29-year-old man. But he loves Lego, and I wanted to get him something this year. And then I've got Andy's birthday presents to wrap, which are a bunch of clothes, a pair of jeans, another pair of cargos, 3 t-shirts from Jack and Jones. The jeans are from River Island. And then God of War Ragnarok, because I've been mithering him to get this game and he wouldn't get it because he didn't want to spend a fortune on it. So it came down in price and I've got it in for his birthday. So yeah, I've got some wrapping to do, Christmas cards to write, and I want to get this done today so I don't need to focus on it tomorrow. Then I can get everything packed up and put it near the back door so I don't forget to take anything on Tuesday with me, because obviously I need to take all the Christmas presents with me. I'm not coming back. So I need to get everything under the tree that I already wrapped packed and get everything to the back door. I want to double check what I've got for Thomas and Luca as well so I can see whether or not I need to get them some more. I never feel like I'm getting them enough. So yeah, that is my plan for the rest of the afternoon. I have Patreon sprints at 1, which is in an hour and 5 minutes. So I'm hoping I can get all this wrapping and Christmas card writing done for then. I also need to put a wash in, which I must remember to do. So I'm gonna get cracking and we'll see how far we get through Happy Place while I'm doing all of this.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you.
Okay, hello. Some time has passed. Did I come back and update you on what I was doing? I think I did. I have just finished Happy Place. We have 6.5 hours left on the clock and it is almost 4 o'clock. So we've got quite a bit of time left. I am still in sprints with patrons. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very good. I think the miscommunication in here was a little bit annoying, but also kind of understandable with the underlying issues between both Win and Harriet. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how it ended, especially with Harriet making a big decision like she did. It's always hard to make that kind of decision. I don't want to spoil what the decision was, but this is something that I've grappled with for a really long time with myself. And it's really hard to talk about this without spoiling it, but making the decision I did, was it this year or last year, to do what I did. It's to do with careers, and making the decision I did was the best thing I ever did. Am I a little bit more stressed these days about money because it's not as reliable as it was because I don't get the usual paycheck that I used to? Yes. But am I happier with my life and with my career? Also, yes. I think it's really important. I think we put way too much pressure on people to do a very well paid, highly respected job because of the money you will get for it. I think it's really important to encourage people to go into something that they think they're going to be happy with, and if it turns out that they're not, don't give them too much shit for essentially what they would see as wasting years and years of their life on it, because they've learned something from it. They've learned it's something they don't want to do, and now they've got an opportunity to find something they do want to do. Don't let them waste all of their years on it, especially on the basis that these days we have to work until we're way older now to even get pensions and things like that. And in an economy as well where you have no choice but to work until your mid to late 60s because you cannot afford to retire. I think it's really important not to waste our most precious days, quite frankly, working in a job that you fucking hate. So I think that's really important, and I think it was a really good conversation surrounding that as well, and I really enjoyed that side of things. Haven't ran it through Core Pile yet. I do reckon it may get 4.5 stars on Core Pile, so we will see. but I really enjoyed this one. It was good. Wasn't one of my favourites from her. In fact, it was probably my least favourite from her, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And I had a good time, and I'm excited for Funny Story to come out next year. So for the rest of the day, I'm actually going to change tact. So I did say that I was going to dip in and out of Iron Flame. I'm not going to do that right now, but towards the end of this readathon, if I've got like an hour or an hour and a half left, which I anticipate I will do, I'm gonna make some more progress in Iron Flame, and I will let you know what that progress is at the end of this vlog. But I'm actually gonna ditch the whole anticipated 2023 releases just for this book, because I'm in a really weird mood today where I can't decide what I want to read. And I think because what I've gone and done, I mentioned this actually in my... Did I mention it in my TBR? Once I put some pressure on a certain book or a certain group of books, I then, it's not that I don't want to read them anymore, it's just that my excitement and enjoyment for those books kind of wanes, which is why I went to an MBR instead of TBR, because I felt like I was having too much pressure. And it, for example, my end of year TBR, the minute I put those books on that TBR, I wasn't as excited to pick them up anymore, which is a shame. I mean, I'm nailing the TBR so far, but I haven't completed them all, and I don't think I will by the end of the year. But I'm not as excited about them anymore, and because I've put a restriction on this reading vlog and on this challenge of 2023 releases, I'm not as excited to read those books as I was before I started doing the challenge and before I put that restriction on. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if it's just my ADHD brain or everybody does that, but I'm struggling today with what I'm getting excited about and what I'm excited to do. And I don't know if it's because I'm up in the air about whether or not to concentrate on Iron Flame, or whether I pick up the other books that I was looking forward to, whether it's that I've put this restriction on of anticipated 2023 releases. But the book that I really want to pick up right now is not a 2023 release, but it is on my TBR, so in itself that's kind of exciting. It is a book that I got in 2023 though, so maybe I can just bend the rules. For me, it's not a 2023 release, but I did get it in 2023, so in a sense maybe it still kind of counts. It certainly doesn't. It's still, this is my reading vlog though, so I can do what the fuck I want. I put that restriction on myself, and if I want to change it I will do. Will I still call this vlog reading anticipated 2023 releases? Probably. You'll all be shocked at this point to realise that that's not what I'm going to continue doing for the rest of the day. But I have finished 4 2023 releases, which I'm really happy about. So I'm not too mad about the situation. The book that I do want to pick up is a 2021 release, so it is still fairly new, and it is Deadlands, Savage Lands Book 3 by Stacey Marie Brown. I am reading this series as part of Becca's Alpha Ho book club. I do have my Alpha Ho bookmark in here that Becca has sent patrons. I think I actually bought that one off the shop as well, because I'm not in the bookmark tier. But yeah, I'm just kind of really in the mood to pick this one up, and I was getting frustrated. I was talking to patrons before and I was getting frustrated. I was like, I put this restriction on, now I don't know what to do because this is what I want to pick up, and they were like, fuck it, just pick it up. So that's what I'm gonna do. This series follows a young girl called Brexley, who is the ward of the king and queen. So 20 years ago there was a war in which the wall between the Fae and the human lands came down, and there was a war between the Fae and the humans, in which both of Brexley's parents ended up dying. So she ended up an orphan, and the king and queen took her in. She's best friends with their son, also in love with him, and to get her kicks essentially, because obviously she has a certain life to follow, if you know what I mean, because she's the king and queen's ward. To get her kicks, she ends up jumping on the trains that run between the two lands, carting medication and things like that, things that people need. She ends up stealing some of those things and selling them on the black market so they can get to the actual people that need them for a reasonable price. Now one day she ends up getting herself caught on one of these trains, and she ends up in a Fae prison that holds all different kinds of people. There are Fae in there, humans, demons, shapeshifters. There's all different types of people in there, and she ends up in this situation where she physically has to fight for her life. They have these tournaments, these games if you like, where you have to fight till the death within the prison, and she ends up finding herself in there because she ends up being seen fighting one day, and she's very good at it, so because she's had quite a bit of training. So that ends up happening, and then she catches the eye of this guy called Warwick Farkas. I'm sure that's his name. It is his name, Warwick Farkas. She ends up catching the eye of him, and it kind of goes from there. Don't want to tell you any more than that, but I truly enjoy this series. It is not the best piece of literary fiction, however it has that addictive writing style like Zodiac Academy. Becca would not agree with me because she didn't like Zodiac Academy, but she does agree it's got the addictive writing style. But I think it's addictive in the sense that Zodiac Academy is, and I've really enjoyed this from book one. I'm really enjoying the sexual tension between a couple of the characters, and I just really enjoy the world building in this as well, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm desperate to get back into this series, and we will be finishing this I think in March. I think oh no, hang on, Shadowlands, oh no, yeah, book 4 is down there, Shadowlands is book 5, so March, December, January, February. Don't know what I'm talking about. February. So I'm really excited to get back into this one, and this is just what I'm in the mood for right now. So I think the audiobook for this is about 5 hours or so. So I will end up having around about an hour and a half left. I should have anyway by the time I finish this, which means that I can spend then an hour and a half probably, hopefully, making some more progress in Fourth Wing, which will hopefully encourage me to continue on with that book into next week / the week after, between Christmas and New Year, and get it finished. I'm halfway through so many books, and I really do need to make progress in them, and I undernard so much with this reading vlog, whether to do 2023 releases, whether to do books that are actually on my TBR from December that I haven't got to yet, whether to finish my end of year TBR, whether to finish books that I'm halfway through. Like, I'm halfway through Warbreaker, and I'm over halfway through Warbreaker. I haven't got long left at all, maybe 2 hours of the audiobook. Haven't finished it yet, and I really want to. And when you see my January TBR, you will see the reason why with that. So I would like to finish those books. I'm partway through Malice. I'm partway through another book that I've started reading in December that I don't really want to tell you about yet because it's going to be in my December vlog. So there's a bunch of books that I'm partway through that I would really like to finish, and that thought went through my mind about finishing those books instead. But I went with the most anticipated 2023s because a lot of them were on my end of year TBR. And I have made progress with that, but yeah, I'm switching gears now partway through this vlog. I do apologise if that's going to piss you off and you're looking forward to my thoughts on my other 2023 releases. I will still try and get to them. I think on my end of year TBR, I do still have All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham, which is a 2023 anticipated release. I have Powerless by Elsie Silver, which again, 2023 anticipated release. I've got Into the Drowning Deep. That might be one that has to go into next year because I'm not going to get to that. No way, shape or form. Malice, which I am halfway through. And I can't remember what else is on there, and my list is downstairs. So, but I have managed Malevolent 7 and Happy Place, so I'm really glad about that. I actually can't remember what else I finished yesterday. Oh, Ashes in the Starkest King. I ummed and ahed about putting that on that end of year TBR as well, and I fucking didn't, and I should have. But yeah, so Deadlands is going to be the one that I'm going to go into now. That was a lot of rambling. This has been a really long clip, and I think I literally spoke through the whole thing. So I'm going to go and do that. I think I will probably have about 15 minutes maybe left of the sprint, so I will get started on this and then continue on with that for the rest of the evening. Don't know how much longer I'm going to sprint for. We've been going since 1 o'clock and it's 4, so we'll probably go for another hour or two, maybe another sprint or two, and then I will just sit and read myself then for the rest of the evening. So I'm going to go and do that, and I will check back in with you later when I've got another update for you. Okay, hello. It is Tuesday morning. This is the longest time it's taken me to get through one of these 24-hour reading challenges. I haven't read anything today for it. I finished it last night. Thank the Lord. We actually did the full 24 hours as well. I think you saw the countdown finish and where I got up to in Iron Flame. But we have finally completed the challenge. And here's what I've read. I did not finish Iron Flame, don't get too excited. So the first thing that I did read was The Malevolent Seven by Sebastian de Castell. I really enjoyed this. I had a very good time with it and I gave it 4.5 stars. Let's take that out of there now because I have read it. And that can go back in the pumpkin pot if for whatever reason I decide to go back to it at some point. This shirt is new and the threads are just coming out of it. Then I did read Tales from the Forest with Winnie the Pooh by Jane Riderin with illustrations by Mark Burgess. This was absolutely adorable and I gave it 5 stars. I love that somebody is continuing on with Winnie the Pooh stories and giving us new ones and keeping the dream alive and keeping my nostalgia alive, so thank you so much. I also did forget to mention that I did then go online and have a quick look on Amazon and they had a signed collector's edition of the same book and I bought it. I am going to keep the purple one as well because it's really pretty, but this is a green edition in a slipcase. How cool is that? It looks like this and inside it is signed and also numbered. This is number 537 in 2000 and I love it. I'm so happy with it. So I think this is my first Winnie the Pooh in a slipcase. Oh, I've got other of the Winnie the Pooh collections, like 4 of them in a slipcase, but specifically in a hardback slipcase, this is my first one. Yeah. I have Once There Was a Bear, but I don't know if I've read it. I may take that with me to Andy's because, you know, nostalgia. Let's just keep it alive. So yeah, finished Winnie the Pooh, gave it 5 stars. Then I did finally finish The Ashes and the Starkest King by Carissa Broadbent, which is the second in the Crowns and Nyaxia series. And I gave this one 4.5 stars. This was really good and I'm so glad. I'm so proud of myself. Honestly, this is probably the biggest achievement for the whole readathon because it is one of those books that had I not finished it this year, I would have ended up just not getting back to it next year, 100%. I know full well that I would have done that. So I'm really proud of myself for finally coming back around to it and finishing it and enjoying it as well. Then I read Happy Place by Emily Henry, which I gave 4.5 stars to. It's my least favourite of Emily Henry's books so far, her romance that is, because I know she's done, I think she's done other bits before this. I'm fairly certain she has anyway. Will it tell me what book she's done? I can't remember if she's done other stuff or not. Either way, really enjoyed this. Gave it 4.5 stars. And yeah, glad that I got round to it. It was a great time. Then we switched gears from 2023 releases and I went into Deadlands by Stacey Marie Brown. I don't think I've given you any update on this. I really loved this. This was fantastic. It got 4.5 stars. I think it's my highest rating out of all 3 of them so far because everything ramped up in this and I really enjoyed it. I love the characters, I love the atmosphere, I love the sexual tension, angst between 2 of the characters in this story. The sexual tension is actually insane and I'm not sure, I'm trying to remember now if there is a book that has given me this feeling before with how insane sexual tension is between these 2 characters, and I'm not sure if there is. And this was, oh, it was so fucking good. Everything just ramped up to 100 in this book and I really enjoyed it. It's made me so much more excited to get into book 4. So I'm very excited to do that next month. To the point that I've actually packed it to take it to Andy's. Just in case. So yeah, I truly enjoyed this one. Can't tell you anything more than the synopsis that I told you previously because we're in book 3 right now and it will spoil anything else, but having a great time with this. The writing is not fantastic by any means, but the way that Stacey Marie Brown hooks you in on these books, outstanding, second to none, fantastic, loved it. And then I did continue on with a little bit more of Iron Flame. So there was like an hour and a half left, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to use this hour and a half now just to get as far as I can with Iron Flame. And that's exactly what I did. And I ended up at page 294. So that dent in there is looking a little bit better now, and is making me feel a bit better about continuing on with this. Where did I start off with this for this reading vlog? Was it page 145, or was it earlier on than that? I think it might have been 145. So I've read like another 150 pages, which is great news. And I'm really happy with that. I could have just sat down and tried to plow my way through this for the whole of Sunday, but I really didn't want to do that. I wasn't in the mood. I was literally in the mood for Deadlands, and it was a great choice as well, because I was in a really weird off mood and I couldn't decide what I wanted to read, but this was calling to me. Fantastic decision made, and I'm really glad that I switched gears and made that decision. So I did actually finish, there are 6 books here, but I did fully finish 5 books. This is obviously a duplicate of this one. Finished 5 books and made progress in a 6th, and I'm really happy with that. I think it went really well. Nothing got below a 4-star, which is again very good, and I had a really good time. So I'm really impressed with myself, and it was great to do this right before Christmas as well, because I feel like I've made a bit more progress, and it just gave me a few more things to maybe or maybe not add to my best of and most disappointing, etc. Obviously I didn't add to my most disappointing, but best of the rest as well. So I'm really happy that I made the decision to do this on a whim, because that's exactly what it was. I had a free weekend that I wasn't anticipating, and I was able to get quite a bit of reading done, so I'm really happy with that. So yeah, good job all around. Really happy with it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below, and I hope, because this will be going up Christmas Eve, so I hope you have a fantastic time with your family on Christmas Eve, and I hope you have enjoyed this if you get a chance to watch it on Christmas Eve. And if not, I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, because then you'll probably actually watch it after Christmas maybe. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments down below, and I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.